Good afternoon, everybody, and a massive, massive welcome to Google Digital Garage this afternoon. Welcome along on this fine Friday. So happy Friday to everyone. I hope you've had a really, really good week so far. And I hope that hopefully, you're looking forward to a reasonably relaxing weekend, whatever it is that you're doing. But if it has been a busy one so far, then yeah. Let's finish it off with a fantastic session. This is going to be writing for social media. We're going to be looking at creating content with confidence across the key social platforms. So let me introduce myself. My name's Glenn, and I am a trainer for Google's free skills training program, Google Digital Garage. I'm an experienced digital skills coach, and I've got a big background in consulting, in really growth for businesses, helping businesses and individuals to recognize their potential, to grow and evolve, keep up with the tech developments that are, just look on anywhere at the moment, look at any platform to see all of the things that are going on at the moment. It's a really good exercise to try and keep up. So that's part of my job, and I'm going to hopefully be able to pass over some of that experience to you today. Now, I am accompanied in the chat on YouTube. This is live on YouTube today, so welcome along, as I've mentioned, for the next 60 minutes. So I'm accompanied in the chat by the wonderful Na. You'll see her as Na A with a little blue spanner just by the side of her name. So hopefully that's going to be to the right-hand side or underneath your screen, depending on what type of device that you're using. Now, please interact. Please say hello. I can see that a number of you already have been doing that. That's brilliant to see. But yeah, please get involved with us today. Please say hello. Let us know why you're here, what it is you're looking to achieve from the session, how your week's been, whatever it is you want, because we can't see you, but you can see me. So it's really, really nice just to have that interaction, to know, what's brought you here on this Friday afternoon, and where you are, perhaps with your social media accounts, with your social media profiles. Are you just starting out? Are you developing them now? Are you working really, really hard to get that social presence? Let us know what's going on. Now, I can see a few hellos, so I'm going to say hello. There's hello to Sonali. You're joining from Dubai. Welcome along this afternoon. Fantastic to see you in from Dubai today. We've got Emily Redpath. Hello, and hello to you too. Welcome along. We've got Zulieta. She's joining from Albania. Brilliant to see you along. And again, welcome from Albania. And Daniel Jan Victor Akasans. Hello. Hello to you too. Welcome along. Thanks so much for joining. Anyone who wants to say hello, please do. I can see Vicky from England, Heather from Canada. Welcome along. It's really good to see you here. So let's try and get as much as we can out of this session. So please ask Na your questions today. She will be there and available to answer your questions as we go. We've got quite a lot to cover. So have your note-taking device of choice ready, even if that's a pen and paper, whatever it is that you use for taking any notes. And one thing that's really great about these sessions, and great if you've got a YouTube account, is that this session will be available on the link that you joined with for the next 24 hours. So if you've got a YouTube account, then you can look in the history section because it will be there, and you'll be able to watch it again for any relevant areas that you might want to recap on. But if you don't have a YouTube account, you can sign up very, very quickly for one of those two. A few details, your email address, and you'll be able to have all of the functionality and the astounding amount of content that YouTube can offer you. So please do sign up and get involved with this way. But yeah, love to see you in the chat. Ask lots and lots of questions. Now, we will be pausing. There are some pauses for questions throughout the session, so I might get a couple thrown my way via NAR. So put them into the chat. Again, it depends on time and how we're going, but we should be able to answer a few of those for you. So rely on NAR for most of your answers today, but it would be great to answer your questions live as well if there's something that we think that can really help perhaps the wider general audience. Now, you've probably signed up for this course on the Google Digital Garage site today, this broadcast. So there's lots of other things on there as well as many, many more broadcasts that you can sign up for. So why not have a go at as many of those as you'd like to, as many times as you like. You can get some really good perspectives from different trainers if you attend the same session more than once. Good to give you broader perspectives and to look at the varied experience that we all have within these realms. You can also sign up for some brilliant courses. One that's going to help you and be very complementary to this live broadcast is going to be the fundamentals of digital marketing. That's on a 40-hour video learning course. I will ask now if she wouldn't mind just sharing the link to the Google Digital Garage site and perhaps the fundamentals of digital marketing, where you can have a look yourself. Have a look, sign up. It's a 40-hour video learning course, which when you've passed, you'll get a certification that you can download, which is brilliant for your CV and brilliant for your LinkedIn profile. So have a look at those. You'll also find on there that we're on tour, that we are moving across the country, lots and lots of live events, and you can sign up for some of those events by again looking on the Google Digital Garage site at the face-to-face entries. And there could be something coming up near you. Brilliant days, brilliant deliveries. We've got training, networking and mentoring all in one day. It's a really great day. Generally, they seem to be, from my experience so far anyway, on Fridays. So again, if you're free on a Friday, you could come along and join in on the fun and gain some really great knowledge. So have a look on the Google Digital Garage site. You'll be pretty glad you did, I believe. All right, so I think that's probably enough of the housekeeping right now. Let's have a look at what we're actually going to be covering today in this session. So here we go. We're going to be looking at how we define our brand on social media and looking at what a brand's tone of voice is. We want everything we do online essentially is helping us to develop our brand. So it's very important that we do it in the right way, in a constructive and positive way. Then we're going to be looking in the second section at actually writing. There's crucial communications. There's things that are going to compel our audience and that are going to get us the traffic that we want, or whatever business goal we've got is going to help us to achieve those business goals with the messages, with the imagery, perhaps with the videos, whatever it is that we're sharing. And then we're going to be looking at some tools for content marketing to try and make the process as easy or as efficient as it possibly can be, so that we can get a good return on investment, even if that investment is, and I say just our time is pretty important, but even if it's just on our time, we want to get something back. We want to make everything we do really, really constructive. We've tried to pick as many tools as we can that won't break the bank as well, but we'll come to those a bit later on. Now, before we do continue, just want to mention another service that we have available, g.co/UK mentoring. We've got a mentoring service. Now you can sign up for this on that particular link, g.co/UK mentoring. I'm sure Nar will share the link for that in the chat for you as well. Now, what that's going to enable you to do is to have a one-to-one session with a digital expert. Fantastic. I'm part of this program. Many really really trainers are part of this program, and they are advising and helping and directing and pointing you in the right direction. So if you've got very specific or individual concerns about a particular digital issue, the mentoring service may well be for you. So that's for small business and charities and entrepreneurs that are based in the UK. Sign up, give it a go. It's a really, really valuable service, as I'm sure you're about to find out. All right, so let's get into the session now, and let's move into defining our brand on social media. So brand, and the first question we have for you is, what is a brand tone of voice? Please do pop that into the chat for us. Again, we love to hear your input, and there's no wrong answers to any of this. It's your understanding and how we can develop that understanding, and how as a community we can develop perhaps some consistent understandings and approaches as well. So what's a brand's tone of voice? Love to know what you think about that. Now, as I'm waiting for a few answers for that, because I'm probably a few seconds ahead of you in the future, as this is a live broadcast on YouTube. Now, brand to me is something which you build. Everything that you do represents you and your brand, and thus helps to build that overarching brand that people are going to make positive, hopefully positive, and sometimes, if you haven't positioned yourself well, perhaps not so positive judgments around. So that's why when you're getting going, if you're at a starting stage, then it's about building that up from the ground upwards and making sure that everything you do is conducive to what you want to convey, how you want to be seen authentically, and how you want to build your presence online. So brands could be the words that we use. Compelling, Heather Gordon, compelling, thank you very much indeed. So it could be the words we use, how we behave, how we respond in certain situations. That's how we dress, how we look, how our site looks, how our profile looks as well. So let's have a look at that and answer some of these questions. It's the personality. So we've all got our own personalities. We all come across in particular ways. And that is exactly the same for our business. If you have a look online, you're going to see how different brands, different businesses represent themselves online. They're speaking like they were a person because they're communicating with you. You as their audience, they've researched you because they want ideal customers who want the things that they're offering. So they've built up the personas, which we'll be covering soon as well. Now, the tone reflects the brand personality. It helps you connect with your audience. It helps you to build that emotional engagement. That's really, really important in any relationship that we build, because essentially we're building relationships with our potential customers. That's really, really important to outline. So our brand and our brand tone is how we would speak as if it was a person, exactly as we do as individuals. We all have our accents and our nuances and the words that we use, our vocabulary. That's something that we can reflect across our businesses too. And we're going to look into some examples in a moment, which are going to help to bring that idea to life a little bit. But also I need you to think as we're running through this, how you might be applying this to your own endeavors, to your own social media presence, and how you want to be reflected online. Because then that brings it to life for you too. How is this going to work for you and your business? So on this is a great exercise. We're going to have a look through this. So if your business was a brand or a celebrity, who would it be and why? And we've got 3 different celebrities on screen that are going to demonstrate how important it can be for us to write consistently, to work consistently, because we're seen in that way. Now, my favorite example of the 3 there is actually George Clooney, because I can kind of relate to that one, having seen him in a number of adverts and films. So he has built himself a brand image of being sophisticated, laid back and smooth. And you think, how? Well, I mean, if you look at things like the coffee adverts that he's done, so he comes across as in exactly that way, sophisticated, laid back and smooth. Now, what are 3 great attributes potentially that you could align with a coffee brand? Well, you'd quite like your coffee, I think, to come across as being smooth, laid back in style, sophisticated. It's an image that the manufacturer of that coffee may well have wanted to emulate on screen to demonstrate that brand. So having George Clooney as a brand ambassador really for them really helps with that, because it goes along with the story that they're trying to tell. And of course, stories are really, really important in all of our online communications. Then you've got Bill Nye, informed, approachable and goofy. And you've got Beyonce, strong, empowered. These are important attributes that we will lay on people, that we will almost have on signs perhaps above their head. This is how this person comes across to me. And all of the people on screen, I think, have worked very hard to achieve these types of brands. These things don't necessarily happen by accident. So think about your own businesses. And can you perhaps, again, please pop this into the chat for myself and for Nar. What 3 attributes would you like your brand, whether it's a personal brand or whether it's a business brand, would you like to be recognized as being or seen for? So could it be sophisticated, laid back and smooth? Could it be caring, helpful and friendly? Think of the words that you feel are best going to represent you ongoing based on what your audience's expectations might be and how you would like to be seen online. So that's really, really important, I think, and a really great exercise, a really great way to help you to keep your messaging and your tone consistent as well. Because does that fit that criteria? Yes, it does. Is it achieving or working towards a business goal? Yes, it is. So on that basis, maybe that's a good post for me to put forward. So think about that. Look at the context of the examples that we've got on screen. These are characteristics, and we want to align characteristics with our own brand. So we want to think about, things that are going to make our brand memorable, that are going to help us to stand out. We always need our differentiators. We want to appeal to our target audience, of course. We want to speak to them in the way they might expect to be spoken to. And of course, we want to apply that as consistently as we possibly can. So we put together 4 steps to help you develop that brand tone of voice. That's brand values, your user pen portrait or personas, as they might be known, how you speak. And then we're going to be looking at how we actually do choose our words to make sure that our messages are really hitting the target, that they're really, really hitting the spot. So those are the 4 main steps. Again, worth taking a note of those. So let's start with number 1 and our brand value. So what do you start for? What are the things that make you stand out? What is it that you would like your customers to know that you stand for? Is it excellent customer service? Is it unbiased reporting, perhaps, if you were perhaps an independent news source? Is it the best atmosphere? If you're trying to create an ambiance and you want to draw people in because they know they're going to have a wonderful time in a wonderful ambiance. You know, these are different from your mission statements. It's why you do what you do, and it's what you stand for. Again, a really nice thing to position, a really nice piece of the jigsaw, a really nice understanding of you and what's important to you. Again, hoping that that's going to be mirrored by the customers that you're going to be drawing in. A couple of examples that are going to help with this are going to be Nico's Pizzeria. They're going to be 2 case studies, and Hathway Legal that you can see on screen. So we can look at how each of these businesses has a different approach, has a different brand, tone of voice, certainly. Nico's Pizzeria, Hathway Legal, 2 very different types of businesses. So let's have a look at the contrasts. So Nico's Pizzeria, they're making quality pizza with fresh ingredients. They're providing excellent customer service. They're fast and reliable, home delivery or takeaway. So we've got 3 real values there. We're ensuring high quality. We want to provide excellent customer service because our customers are so important to us, and we're fast and reliable. And we know that a lot of our customers are going to want us to be fast and reliable. So pretty professional, but pretty informal as well in many ways. Hathway Legal, however, look at the wording here too. We're going to dedicate the highest level of diligence to each case. So they want diligence to be a word that stands out in their description and part of their value set. We believe that our clients deserve a quick response. Now, I guess, depending on what you're using legal services for, you might well need a quick response, that you don't want to be left high and dry, and that certain things might need to be dealt with quicker than others, perhaps. And we only hire top lawyers who have trained at prestigious institutions. So we're not looking at potential just, people who've just graduated or people who are being trained. We're talking about people that have been brought in as top lawyers, so that we're giving you the creme de la creme. Now, what that also says to me, perhaps as an indication of Hathway Legal, is that they might be reasonably expensive based on the values that they're putting forward to you. They're setting their agenda there with you. So you're expecting probably that you might be paying, a good sum in order to engage with their services because of the service and the level of response that you're going to get. So start to interpret some of the messages that you see on screen and the adverts that you see for organizations, and of course the writing that you're going to be doing for your own adverts, and interpret what will people make of that, how will they interpret that, where does that position me in the market as well. So those are two great examples to think of how particular wording can really influence the audiences and your customers' perception. So let's move on to your core audience, these user pen portraits. You may well, as I've mentioned, recognize this as a term called persona. And if so, these are interchangeable terms. We want to build up a vivid picture of our audience members. Start to think and describe them in a certain way. To bring this to life a little bit, I know a number of marketers actually who will, based on the user pen portraits that they're devising, they will have, and this will become more understandable in the next couple of slides, they'll start to build pictures and maybe even find pictures of people that they pin up on top of their monitor and actually write their content for, because they represent their ideal audience. Because we want to build up a picture of our ideal audience, the ones that are going to engage with us, the ones that want our products and services, the ones that really want to deal with us, and thus they're very productive customers in that sense. This links in very much to what you can see on screen, because you need to be specific and you need to target. You'll hear a lot across digital marketing terms, the word targeting. It's really, really key. Create content for everyone, and you're kind of creating content for no one. Now, that really does ring true, because if you're trying to appeal to everybody, and sometimes you do hear people say, well, potentially anyone's my audience. Step back from that a little bit and try and be a bit more objective, perhaps, or talk to people that might be able to help you frame who your potential ideal customer sets may be. There are also a number of tools online to help you determine customers and audience to help you really refine and work in. Really, really important, perhaps, if you're doing things like paid ads as well. You want to think about your brand, you want to think about your audience, and you want to think about how you're going to convey your brand to that audience. So the people that are really interested in your products or services are actually going to be fairly distinct in a number of ways from the people that aren't, because of their interests, because of the associated interests they have, for example, of their need for the type of product that you have. Because when you look at Nico's Pizzeria, not everyone's actually going to like pizza, and not everyone's going to want to eat it regularly either. So are they your ideal customer set? Maybe. But when you're looking at Hathway Legal, the same thing applies. Not everyone, even in the course of their lifetime, might need a legal service at any stage. But there are particular sets of people, particular industries, particular circumstances that throw up the need, maybe buying a house, that need legal services. So start to really filter and work through your audience in as many kind of meaningful ways as you possibly can, because then you can build a picture of what your potential sort of commonality. It's not about stereotyping, it's about commonalities, what your average user might look like. And that's really, really important. For example, a brand like Adidas or Nike target their content to people who are interested in sports or fitness. And again, there's very different messaging that's going to go into sports and fitness than there is for pizza, than there is for legal services. And then you can start to work in what type of content are you going to need for your particular product or service. So let's have a look at this. Nico's Pizzeria and Hathway Legal have done some work on their personas. And this, again, is where we start to think about the agencies I was talking about that have got pictures of individuals on the top of their screen. So Nico's has defined a guy called Simon as an ideal customer. Simon, he's young, he's single, he's professional, late 20s, full-time, lives in Brighton. He's very busy. He's got a big appetite for adventure. He's a keen athlete. He enjoys playing football. He likes going to his local bar and watching televised sporting events. Look at the amount and the depth of information that they have built up and built on this persona, because Simon is quite representative of a particular segment of the audience that are important to this business. Hathway, very, very different indeed. So Sally, she's early 30s, she's single, she's buying a new apartment, she works for an insurance company, she likes reading, drinking a macchiato, she likes coffee shops, she's a tech fanatic, she likes buying the latest gadgets, she's got a degree in history, she's a grammar nerd, and she appreciates quality. So that would actually fit in with a lot of the messaging. Both of those would fit in with a lot of the messaging we saw on the previous value statements, on the previous values that we saw that each of these brands are offering. They're speaking to each other now, aren't they? They can mutually help each other out, one by being a customer, one by providing the service. So really, on screen is a great summary, and again, a great slide for us to take some notes from in terms of the user pen portrait or that persona. Let's think about genders, names, ages, where do the people live? Are they married? Are they employed? What do they do? Do they have children? What are their earnings? Again, that could be important. Their hobbies, their interests, the values, the things that they care about. What is important? Job titles. Are they budget owners? Are they decision makers in a business? Because you might be trying to really influence a decision maker to make a decision on you. What are their talents? What are their ambitions? Think about all of the things that people put into social media that give a clue about what they do, who they are, and what they're like. I think that's really, really important. You might even want to understand what their politics are, because again, your particular messaging could be geared that way. So take some notes from this screen. I think it's a really, really key way for us to be thinking about our audience and for us to build that picture. It makes the production of our content a lot easier when we kind of know who we're talking to. To bring that into a real world example. So if we're walking down the street and we bump into somebody and we can see who we're talking to, we can see their age, we can see kind of the expression in their face, we can see how they're dressed, we can angle our conversational technique towards them. But if we're talking to somebody who might have behind a screen and we don't know who we're talking to, it adds a lot more uncertainty about our messaging and what we should say, doesn't it? So hopefully that brings it to life a little bit for you and how important the creation of personas can actually be. Now, what's describing the personality of your brand or your business? We described those three celebrities a few slides back. Now we want to try this. Hope you've been thinking about this in the meantime. What three words might do this for your business? So again, pop those into chat if you've got any of those. That would be really, really good to see, and to see if you've been giving it any thought and really understanding how you want your business to be represented to your public. So let's run back to Nikos and Hathway, and we will, for Nikos, they want to come across as being full of charm. They want to be seen as being really, really authentic, and to have a family ambiance, and a family vibe, a family atmosphere. This is going to be important to them. This is going to be contained in all of the messaging that they produce, all of the ads. They're going to be trying to emulate that charm. They're going to be shown to be authentic. They want to appeal to a family audience. It's, child friendly, kid friendly, it's family friendly. It's going to come in. They're going to be safe. They can have a great time. They can have great food. Now, for Hathway Legal, we can see that they have determined the words powerful, efficient, and experience. So exactly as we had, like with the George Clooney example, the suave, sophisticated, smooth, we've now got Nikos saying that they are represented by charm, authenticity, and family. And we've got Hathway being represented by powerful, efficient, and experienced. That's how they want to be seen. And that's how they're going to deliver their business and deliver their business model. That's how they're going to conduct themselves. So again, please do just pop into the chat for me if you've come up with 3 for you. That would be really, really interesting to know. You might even want to align it to a celebrity that kind of has those types of characteristics if you want to. But otherwise, it's just going to be great to understand perhaps the type of business that you're in and how you would like to be seen via those 3 words. So again, I'll give it a little bit of time in order for you to do that. I will move on and I'll come back to that fairly shortly. All right, number 4. So we're back on that 4-step process. Now we want to create some guidelines for the words that we will and that we won't use. Now, this is important based on the ways we greet people. Again, that needs to be kind of as consistent as it can be and in line with how people would expect to be greeted. The ways that we sign off, again, very, very important thing. So we've got the header and the footer, the beginning and the end, really. Then from the content, how we describe our products, the words that we use, and are we informal? Are we formal? What's our kind of approach? Are we going to be jovial? Are we going to be funny? Are we going to be serious? Are we going to be very conservative? How are we going to come across? How do our audience expect to be spoken to? When we look at the examples of Nikos and of Hathway, again, 2 big distinctions in the expectations and the use of language. So remembering that this is writing for social media. They're doing their work. They're doing their background. They've got, some bits of paper or some documents there, and they've started to look at words that they feel might be appropriate, and they've started to eliminate some of them and keep and include some of them that are going to work better than others. This is going to work because it's thought. It's not about just, I just need to put something out there. It's about giving it some thought and being quite thoughtful about our responses. So for Nikos, we've got rid of customer and eat because they're not really saying a great deal. Fresh is going to appeal to our customers. We're a food vendor. We want our ingredients to be seen as fresh. Now, even on the greeting that we saw, ciao, could work. Hello, could work. Hi seems a bit informal, perhaps, and again, not particularly individual. Welcome. Now, welcome's warm. Welcome along, everybody, and thanks for joining us today. Like I would say that to you as the audience watching this live broadcast right now. Welcome along. Thank you for taking your time out of your day to attend. And appetizing. They crossed out restaurant. Again, it doesn't really work, doesn't really contextualize them or a value, but appetizing, they're producing appetizing food. And of course, they want you to enjoy that. Now, when you're looking at Hathway, the sign-off part that we mentioned before, so they've got rid of best wishes. Again, is that appropriate for a legal firm? Maybe not. Cheers. Now, that's an interesting one, isn't it? Because if I received a bill from my favorite chosen Hathway legal type firm, and they said, Glenn, thanks very much for engaging in our services. That's going to be £10,000. Cheers. I might not find that the appropriate tone as a customer, and it might make me question the brand a little bit because I wouldn't expect cheers. I probably would expect kind regards, something of a more professional basis based on the elements that they want to be seen as professional and powerful. Now, fab again would be far too informal. Excellent, quite a powerful word. And there's even a difference between saying thanks. Thanks sounds a tight, can sound a little bit dismissive every now and again, but thank you. It's definite. Thank you. You can finish the sentence. Thanks. Thank you. So again, look at every single word that you use, because every single word that you use is going to help you to reach the goals that you're trying to achieve. Okay, so we're going to move into the first pause for questions. Thank you very much indeed for the comments and for the input. I can see some things coming through there. I'm just going to look at and catch up on. So what's a brand tone of voice from Claire Louise? Excellent customer service, highly motivated to do the best I can for small businesses and individuals. Okay, so you probably could filter that into 3 different words, absolutely, that would represent that sentence. Brilliant. Thank you very much indeed, Claire. Now, what describes the personality of your brand or business? We've got Bontal, authentic, expressive, and community. Perfect, lovely, brilliant examples. So you can then build your communications around being authentic, being expressive. It's clearly important to you, your products or your service, and the fact that you're working in a community, which is lovely, of course, brilliant. And then for Na. Okay, thank you, Na. That's cool. Professional, reliable, and caring. Absolutely. So I know that Na does a bit of consulting and coaching. So she does. She needs to be professional. She needs to be reliable. Certainly, we've got to keep to the things that we are saying we'll do, and needs to be caring, because again, it's about empathy and it's about engagement and making sure that the other person feels that you're there for them. So perfect, great examples. Really, really appreciate those. Thank you very much indeed. Superb. Now, I can't see any actual questions at the moment, but those comments I think really help to build a picture of what's been going on in the previous section, how we're going to be building a picture and then building an impression for our audience of our business. So now that we're kind of achieving that, we've looked at our audience, we know who we're writing for, we've established that we are authentic, expressive, and that we're community driven, that we're professional, we're reliable, and we're caring. Then we start to need to write for that. We start to need to produce content to adequately serve our needs, our purposes, and, as I'll keep saying, to meet our business goals. So in the second section, writing for social media. I would have written a shorter letter, but I did not have the time. Really interesting, really interesting phrase there. And that's from Blaise Pascal. Some people say Winston Churchill, but I think it's Blaise Pascal. Now, if you've had the time to write for social media, then one of the things that seems really important is to keep that message as succinct, so as short and to the point, and as attention grabbing, being authentic and truthful as you possibly can do. This is because of a really big issue actually, and that's the attention span. Again, put yourself in your customer's shoes now. When you're online, when you're on your smartphone, when you're on your desktop, when you're on your tablet, whatever device it is that you use, and you're flicking through content. Now listen to those words, flicking through content. What does that mean? It's our attention span. As you can see on screen, it's pretty low, 8.25 seconds before we move on to something else, essentially. The interesting point here, though, is that we're talking about social media. And social media, because of that thumb movement, that scrolling that we do, and the fact that we can often just look at that unending feed of content with perhaps not giving it the respect it deserves, just by casually flicking through, we've got time to kill, we're a bit bored, is that in order for you to stop on something, that content's going to have to really grab your attention, because on social media, that attention span that we can see at 8 seconds goes down to about 3 seconds. So you've really got 3 seconds. That's 1, 2, 3 to grab someone's attention and think, yes, I want to know more about this business or this person or this product or this service. So that's important to know. So what that means is that people aren't necessarily always going to want to read a huge paragraph of text. You can see how images could help you here, though. Images could be really useful, couldn't they, to stop someone in their tracks. So I got told this at school, that goldfish had, well, I got told at school, I'm sure, that goldfish had an attention span of about 9 seconds. So maybe humans' attention spans are actually slightly under that of goldfish now. But you get the point. We have to make sure that we can get a vital message across very, very quickly in order to capture someone's attention, to potentially turn them into someone that's going to engage with you, respond to you, whatever, again, you want from that post, and for that they might well convert with you, digital marketing term, in terms of them performing an action on your website or through your social media feed that you want them to perform. It's kind of the thing that pays the bills, I guess, a conversion in many, many ways, or that helps you to pay the bills. All right, so to follow up on what we were saying before, that can be pushed very much into that statement. And it's a controversial one, isn't it? Assume your reader will only read the first half of your sentence. That means that for all of the hard work we're putting into quite long posts, not everyone's reading that all the way through. And that, yeah, I mean, that took me a little while to comprehend and to feel comfortable with, but it's true. When you look at your own habits, look at what you do online, look at the posts that you dismiss very, very quickly, and look at how much of the content that you see in front of you that you actually read through in detail. And you may well see that we don't read it all, that we sometimes skim read, or we just want the attention grabbing first couple of lines. That means consequently that we need to create attention grabbing first couple of lines. This is important. We want people to be as engaged as quickly and as immediately as they can be. And we want to be intrigued enough to carry on. So there's two challenges in one. How do we start to broach those challenges? We need to focus on two main areas for our customers, on our users. And those are going to be the motivators and the pain points that they have. Now, the motivators are going to be the things that make us tick, that get us excited, that, yeah, maybe are parts of something we really, really enjoy doing, that this site or product or person can help us do more of or extend our knowledge of. So we give people the motivators and we say to them, I can do this for you. And you thought you were having a good time then, but with me, I can help you to have an even better time by doing X, Y, and Z. And pain points, what are our challenges? When you think of why you go online, when you think of search engines, and why you think of perhaps why people might research brands on social media, which they do a lot now. It's a really, really key way for people to become acquainted with brands. Often they've got a challenge or a pain point, something, a challenge they need to solve, a problem they need to get around, something that they need to do that perhaps they couldn't do before. So we need to focus on those. So are people looking for something to get rid of their boredom? Are people looking to be entertained? Are people wanting to learn something? Do they want to win something? What is it that people are online for in the first place? Why they're on your brand, or they've looked at your profile, or they've searched you on the search engine? What's it for? These are often going to be associated with motivators and pain points. So we need to focus in on those, because what you need to be on any platform is essentially the solution to your audience's challenges, the solution to your audience's challenges at all times. How can I help with that? FAQs, answering all of the questions so that people stick with you. There are lots and lots of ways you can help to do that. A key way, though, is to really focus in on benefits. So benefits versus features. When I was growing up, it was kind of more features. This does this, and it's got this stuff, things, facts. They didn't necessarily go into the tangible benefits for me for that product. So the example that we can see here for a new gadget watch, which is probably going to appeal to Sally from the Hathaway Legal persona that was built up, the portrait, the pen portrait, is she's a tech. She loves tech. She likes buying new tech. So therefore, let's put ourselves in the mind of Sally, or ourselves. I mean, I love tech too. I love gadgets as well. So I'd like a new gadget watch. Now, if someone said to me, Glenn, this new gadget watch, it's waterproof up to 5 meters. I'd say, okay, that's fine. Is that good? Is that bad? How often do I go 5 meters down? You know, that's 2.5 times my own height, I think, pretty much. So again, how it doesn't grab me. But if I say I can take it swimming, brilliant. So I know one of the benefits of this watch is I can take it swimming and it's going to be fine. It's going to survive that. If someone says to me he's got 5mm thick glass, again, I mean, I wouldn't know what an average watch glass thickness would be or should be or could be. But if I'm told it's smash resistant, and believe me, I'm a bit clumsy, so therefore I'm thinking if I'm wearing this lovely investment on my wrist and I'm a bit clumsy and I smash it against the desk or something hard, then it's probably going to survive that because it's smash resistant. What a great benefit. So try to think about what the benefits of your products and services actually are to the individual, because we all love it. We love the individualization too, our personalities, because it's become all about us. So therefore, if it comes in black, white, blue, or gold, again, kind of, you might be missing an opportunity because you could choose a color to suit your personality within that color range. Now, I love blue. It is my favorite color, no coincidence at all. I just love it. I've always kind of guided myself through blue through my life. Can't give you any kind of logic to that, but often there aren't logic to some of these things. But therefore, I choose the blue one. So tell me, if you're a blue person, choose the blue one. If you're a gold person, choose the gold one. Black person, choose the black one. White person, choose the white one. Whatever it is that you feel that these colors do for you, that they speak to you, orange, green, whatever, doesn't matter. As long as you've got that, try and individualize it for people. Try and make it appeal to them, to appeal to their heartstrings. Again, that engagement that they've got, that emotional connection to the thing that you're trying to sell. The spherical interface, I mean, what does that mean? Spherical, brilliant. Or it's going to give you great comfort and style, so that you know that when you see your friends next, they're likely to go, watch looks really comfortable and it's quite stylish. Where'd you get it from? That's going to make you feel good. It could be another selling point. So, I really want to focus on this benefits thing, because if you paint a picture of what's going to be good about this thing for an individual, I think it really does help them to eventually choose it on their buying decision process. Think about your buying decision process too, and how you're influenced. And it's quite possible that many other people are influenced in very similar ways. So here we go, as further examples of that. Boost your CV with a free. So we're back onto that, people reading the first line. Boost your CV with a free. That's a very positive statement, and you get something free out of it. People love freebies. Of course they do. Get a product and engineering on the same page. So we're saying that product and engineering departments can often have slightly different focuses or emphasis, but this company's got products and engineering on the same page. So integrated together they work better. So that would help somebody who wanted product and engineering type services to think, okay, that sounds good. Get a free coffee roasting kit. Now there's a stipulation and a need for you to try 3 bags of their roasting coffee. But by the time you've read, get a free coffee roasting kit, you're probably thinking, I'd love a free coffee roasting kit. Brilliant. Where do I sign up for that? So it is about the positioning. That is important. And consider that in how you do advertise yourself and how you write. Now, we also want to use language in its most unobtrusive way, in its most simple way to access, in its most accessible way. So we want clear and simple language. It needs to be reader friendly. It needs to be clear and to the point, as we've seen, to the point, based on our attention spans. It needs to be structured, so it's got a good flow. And again, it might just tell a very simple or perhaps a very complicated story, depending on what it is that you're trying to tell the story of. You need uncomplicated sentences and you need everyday words. That's why I threw in unobtrusive earlier on. There's going to be some people that maybe I'll think, what's unobtrusive mean? It's kind of words that don't get in the way, that prevent people's understanding. Sometimes it's great to be clever, and of course sometimes it's great for us to be able to demonstrate our knowledge. But if it's at the expense of your customers' understanding, is it worth it? You have to really, really balance that one out, I think. So we want to avoid, in all cases, complicated language, technical terms, because people might not know those technical terms. They might know they want to achieve something, but they might not know a particular technical term that's involved in that. So that's why you need to explain it in everyday words and with uncomplicated sentences. It could be internal language to an organization. I've worked for a couple of organizations where they have an internal language because of the products that they sell and the things that they do. but that doesn't often translate out into the real world. So when you speak that language, not everyone, apart from the people in that company, are going to understand it. So there's an important thing to remember. Keep yourself accessible. Jargon and acronyms, again, your MFI, IBM, CIA, MI5, MI6, all of those things. I mean, what do they mean? Not everyone's going to have that knowledge. So you need to be explanatory and make sure everything is clear for people, as it says as well on the clear and simple language side. We want to get rid of flowery language. We don't need to go around the houses. We need to be to the point, because we'll lose people's attention if we go too around the houses. And we need to filter out and edit any unnecessary words to make it readable, but also to keep it as short, succinct, and to the point as we possibly can, as a lot of our examples have already demonstrated. Whew, there's a lot to do, isn't there? But these things can be done. And this is why getting ahead of yourself schedule wise is really important too, so that you can plan ahead, and so that you don't have that thing of sitting down and just thinking, oh my goodness, what do I need to post today? If you can start to plan ahead and get your content defined ahead, it gives you more time to work on that content. It gives you a lot more time to refine that content and edit that content and make it perfect for your audience. It's a learning process. So just bear that in mind. Content schedules, content calendars, planning ahead, getting a month ahead, getting 2 months ahead, 3 months ahead, whatever it is that you can do reasonably is going to help you produce that quality content that you need to. Now, what we want to do is also think about how we can cut the copy. So we saw the unnecessary words. We want to keep the same meaning. A good platform to test yourself out on can be Twitter for this one. Because, Twitter used to have a much lower character count than it's got now, but it still needs you to write in such a way that you can get a key message across in all of the ways that we've been describing, succinctly, very briefly, concisely. So you perhaps even use some of these platforms, or look at how other people use these platforms to get their key messages across. Now, something important that might come up, hopefully won't, but often does every now and again, there are things that are often beyond our control, are customer complaints. So let's have a look through a customer complaint. Let us know if you've had any customer complaints necessary, or if you've complained to a company recently. Was it sorted out okay? How have you dealt with? Could it have been done better? Thinking about your responses, again, an important part of social media for me, because personal opinion is that once you open a social media account and you're running a business, you become your own customer services department, because ultimately people are going to be contacting you about your products, your services, your opening hours, whatever it is they need to know about. So therefore, when things do go wrong, every now and again they do, it's not really what goes wrong often, it's more how you deal with it. So we want to avoid passive language where we can. We want to use an active voice, and a voice which is going to tell us, we're going to help you fix this. Don't you worry. We're going to help you fix this. We're really sorry something's happened, but we understand that your money is very valuable to you, as is your time, and we're going to do everything we can to make this better. Now, we want to look, as I've mentioned, about how we can fix the problem. Don't say stuff you don't mean if you can't do it, but you do need, I believe, again, to focus on solutions to things that go wrong, how you can make the customer experience better. Being jokey does have a time and a place. And again, that's very important, I think, when it comes down to the money side of things. If we're spending our hard-earned cash, if someone says, well, the product that you sent me was broken, or it didn't work, or there was a fundamental part missing, you go, oh, well, never mind, just one of those things. People don't necessarily take that too well, because they've spent money on it. And that's really, really important to note as well. Just use it sparingly. Being jokey does have a time and place. That's very much up to you to discern based on the situation in front of you. But before you are jokey back, maybe it's worth testing that out on a friend or a colleague or your boss to ensure that it is actually appropriate, because there is also that thing that sometimes the things that we say might not be funny to others. Controversial point too, isn't it? Sometimes we think we're really, really funny, and sometimes other people might not agree with us. So when it comes to a customer facing environment there, it's probably worth testing that out. Also, personalization, as we've seen, is a key element for building relationships. So we want to sign off with a name, we want to connect, we want to make sure that people felt, especially with all of these AI assistants going on at the moment as well, we want people to feel like they're dealing with a person and that they're being dealt with on that level and on that basis. So even signing off with a name can make a big difference. I mean, look at this one. So look, I ordered a mobile from your company last week. It was badly damaged. I called to complain. I was rudely told, you don't accept returns. I need to contact someone else. Is this really how you treat loyal customers? They've used this company before and probably been quite impressed up until this point. But I will never buy from you again, hopeless. That's not what you want on your social media feed. And that's something you need to get on top of really, really quickly. So a great response to help to shoulder some of that responsibility and to move this person along with one very, very important thing included is to be able to respond in a sincere, apologetic, and solution-focused way. So our sincere apologies for the inconvenience caused and the poor customer service. We recognise it's poor customer service. Good. It fell below our usually high standards. We're going to investigate why that is. So they recognise that you need to be treating your customers properly. It's important. Now we've given you misinformation. We're going to work out why that is. Is it a training issue? We're going to fix it. Now, contact me on my direct email. Now, that's a great thing to do because it takes any potential responses and the continuation of a negative situation offline. So you give the person your contact details and say, let's carry this on over here, because that helps you to get to the heart of the situation and it takes the public facing element of it away too. So that hopefully then when you've solved everything later on, you can come back and just say, there we go. And you'll get a good review because you can turn negative situations into very positive ones by treating people with the respect they deserve and helping them find solutions. As I hope this example rather has shown you. So it's about turning a negative into a positive by thinking about how you would respond and also how you'd want to be treated if it was you. So we're in the second pause for questions. Just let me have a quick look to see what's come in. We've got another comment from Claire. Thank you, Claire. Thanks for getting involved today. I make sure my hook is within the first 3 seconds of any piece of content, absolutely, or video. It's so fast-paced, seeing you need to catch them there and then. Exactly. Perfect. Brilliant message. Yes, you do need to catch people, your audience, your customers there and then. That is utterly, utterly vital. Thank you, Claire. Really shows the good connection that you've got and made with the content that we're going through today. I really appreciate it. So I can't see any more questions. I can see that Na is doing a fantastic job in the chat this afternoon. So thank you very much indeed to Na. Keep interacting with Na. Actually, I can see from Claire Louise, my client and my own content is scheduled ready for the whole of July. It makes my job so much easier to do this. A content planner has so many benefits. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Getting ahead of yourself is such a good thing to do, as I say, because it gives you time to focus and concentrate rather than almost being reactive to the day that you're on. Thank you so much, Claire. Highly, highly appreciated. Okie dokie. I am going to move into that toolkit now. So all of the concepts we've looked at, now we've looked at our brand tone of voice, we've looked at how we're going to present ourselves, how we want to come across to our audience, all key elements. Brilliant. Let's try and do it as efficiently as we can. As I mentioned before, let's have a toolkit for content marketing. Let's make sure that we can adhere to as many of the quality guidelines as we possibly can as well. Now, if spelling or grammar isn't your strong point, it doesn't necessarily need to be. There are many assistants that you can buy now. Grammarly is one that you can see on screen. I'm going to ask Na if she is able to share the link for Grammarly. That would be excellent if you could, for people to have a look. That's assisted artificial intelligence, and you can basically copy and paste any body of text into Grammarly, and it will look and make spelling suggestions. And it will also say grammatically, you could put this word here or change that sentence around or delete certain parts. It's going to help it look better. It's going to help it read better. So use Grammarly. And again, if spelling and grammar is not your strongest points, they don't need to be. Use the tools to help you to get it right. Now, we do want good visuals. This is important, as you can see, for capturing people's attention and compelling content. So we want eye-catching photographs, things that stop you in your tracks when you're scrolling. You can edit your photos. You can edit your photos on your smartphone. You can edit your photos on your PC. You can do lighting. You can add colors. You can add captions. There's a great tool called Canva, which is also part of the graphic design apps, that will help you to put captions and things, many other things, on top of the posts or the images that you've created to highlight your products and services. And there are templates. Again, Canva is a great one for this. So you can go onto Canva on a freemium level, so it's free to a point, and you would be able to find templates that fit into all of the popular social media channels. So it looks like you're almost native to that channel. It helps your content. It also, the templates also have the right photo dimension sizes for each of the platforms, because each platform likes photos slightly different sizes, slightly different pixel amounts. So have a look at those, because again, there are tools that are going to help you to make that an easier process rather than having to cut an image down to a particular size. There are certainly a number of apps out there to help you to do that. So again, look at, there's VSCO Cam. That's a very, very good tool as well. But yeah, there's also one called Word Swag, which turns your words into photo text designs. So however you want to represent yourself, there's probably going to be an app out there that will create visuals for you in the type of mode that you'd like it to. Now, and also a fantastic way in terms of marketing is going to be the smartphone and the selfie stick. Smartphone and selfie stick. Simple. Also, that kind of immediacy, like this is a live stream, and there's a thing called FOMO, fear of missing out, and it's important because people do react in this way now. Social media's really helped with that. So you could get a selfie stick and you put your smartphone in. You could do you can capture moments right there and then, and people love the immediacy of that. It's a really simple way to do things. But sometimes people will walk into museums or stores or shows, and they'll give a review on their phone and stream it straight up to Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or wherever it is that they are, giving that immediacy, giving that review, helping people. People love live content. People love live webinars just like these because it's happening right now. Let's get involved. Let's see what's going on. It brings an extra level of excitement to things as well. So again, I'd really, really bear that in mind. Now I am going to come into the final pause for questions. I can't see any questions that have come in. I have enjoyed this session. I hope you have too, and also the useful comments that you've certainly put into the chat, and to Na for all of her insights as well. So when we reflect back on this session and when we have a look, we're going to move into the next steps right now because I can't see any questions. And it is going to be to try and get ahead of yourself, to try and give yourself a content calendar or a content schedule, to plan your content, think about your audience, define your audience, and make sure that you're writing in the most appropriate tone for your business, to make sure that you're going to be appealing to your audience based on the words that you use, based on the approaches that you make. Bring all of those elements into one thing, into one place, everything in the bag, everything in the mix, and start to work out then how to best market what you want your customers to do and when you want them to do it. Like all of your social media posts are likely to have some type of CTA, call to action. Look that up. Call to action is getting people to the next step. Is that going to be click here to go through to our website? Is it going to be buy now? Is it going to be download? Is it going to be give us a call? Always help people get to the next stage of their journey by helping their user journey. That's a whole different topic. Again, go on to the fundamentals of digital marketing. Take the course on the Google Digital Garage website to help you out more with that type of content and that type of overview. Use our mentoring. Any questions you've got for today, you might want to kind of funnel them into a mentoring session, g.co/UK mentoring, where you'll get an hour with a digital expert who can talk through any of the concepts for you and for your business. Really valuable service. As I mentioned, some great outcomes from that. So I'll leave that with you. But yeah, please do sign up. And then that leaves me just really to say thank you very much indeed. I've loved having you here today. It's been a great way to end Friday afternoon. I hope you'll agree. I hope it's given you plenty of food for thought in relation to you, your profiles, your business goals, the things that you want to achieve online and how you want to achieve them. And that you now have a clearer picture of what you want to do, how you want to represent yourself, and how you want to get people and how you can get people to engage with you in your business. Leave us some feedback on goo.gle/digital garage feedback. Always greatly appreciated. Part of our customer service offering to you to help us to understand what you think we could do better and what you've enjoyed. We'd love to know. If you're on social media, use the hashtag Digital Garage and let people know what useful things you've learned this afternoon as well. That just leaves me to say a massive thank you. We're right on the hour. So I hope you've enjoyed yourself. I've had a great afternoon and I hope to see you all again soon on another Google Digital Garage live broadcast. See you all again soon and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.